Marcia Blaine.
Marcia Blaine's Group Girls.
Marcia Blaine.
She goes off to war in Spain and she gets bombed when she's in a train.
In a bomb accident on the train.
The train that she's taking to war is bombed.
The character wears a school uniform and her hair's in plaits, and throughout the play the hair changes in one scene with Mr. Lloyd, in which she behaves quite strangely.
Sort of like a suit, depending on which sort of set he's in, or like if I'm in my art room, I change my clothes, I wear a vest, and yeah, sort of a suit looks like a sort of slick James Bond kind of character.
She wears, throughout the 2-hour production, she wears 8 outfit changes, and she wears very glitzy yellow dresses for most part, but it starts off very bright, and then it goes, can I say this? It starts off really bright, and then it goes very dull, and then in my final scene I'm just wearing a plain, very ugly brown suit. Because as the character sort of regresses throughout the production, she sort of becomes a little bit more of a broken version of herself, so she's not as brighter. And also because this play is set in retrospect, so it's someone's memory of the character, the memory of Miss Brodie sort of loses its appeal a little bit. So the memory of Miss Brodie, of old Sandy, so Sister Sandra, she remembers her as just losing her appeal and her exciting elements throughout this whole episode.
Oh, it's terrible. It's got a blazer and netted stockings with flowers and brown skirt and a hat and a black bag.
Is Miss Brodie? I think Miss Brodie's actually, her intentions are good, and she really does believe in benefiting the children and being a good role model for them. And I don't think she realizes that sometimes the way she acts influences the girls more than what she thinks. And I think she's a good teacher and a good person. I just think her influence can sometimes be too strong that it affects the girls in a negative way.
No, I think Miss Brodie is actually an exceptional teacher. I think her level and her style of teaching goes way beyond what Marcia Blaine expects a teacher to be. I think Miss Brodie is a teacher who misunderstands her place as a teacher, but is still an exceptional teacher nonetheless. Her style is eccentric, to say the very least, and is not compatible with a conservative school like Marcia Blaine. But as a teacher, no, I think that people will benefit from having Miss Brodie as their teacher.
In technical terms, as in looking at the definition of a teacher, I'd say she is, because she doesn't focus on the coursework or on the material. And she just sort of tries to teach her students about life and beauty and truth and courage and, you know, all the waffly elements of life, which isn't really what you go to school to learn about. So education-wise, yes, I think she is a bad teacher because she doesn't focus on education. But being a role model to her students, I think that she is a role model to some of her students because she is a very confident woman and she teaches her students to be confident women, and she emphasizes that femininity is very important, and I think that's very good because it is set in a time when women were oppressed.
Probably when Nathan comes in the room running away from Miss McKay. Yeah, when he's frightened and he doesn't know what to do, and Sandy's in the room and he panics and he just starts shaking.
The funniest scene in the play is probably between Miss Brodie and Miss McKay, when Miss McKay finds a letter that has been written by 2 schoolgirls stating the relationship between Miss Brodie and Mr. Lothar, who is the very comical music teacher. And Mr. Lothar's in the scene the whole time, and Miss McKay, who's the principal of the school, confronts Miss Brodie about their sexual relationship. And Mr. Lothar, being the very geeky teacher he is, he reacts in very funny ways, hiding behind art easels, and it's just very pleasing to watch. And it's a scene that has
a lot going on in two aspects of the stage, but yeah, it's very funny.
Scene 8, Act 1. Yes, Scene 8, Act 1, because the only reason why it's really funny for me, because the first part of the scene is really disturbing, because Mary McGregor gets bullied, but the funniest part is Lauren. She sort of swoops around the stage in her like bat outfit, which is not really her bat outfit, but it's because she's the principal, she's wearing like a bat outfit, and she sort of points at people, and it's really funny. I laugh at that every time.
I think the funniest scene in the play is, I do say this myself, but it's my scene with Miss Brodie when I have a little panic attack when I hear that Miss McKay has learned about, well, I think Miss McKay has learned about my little interactions with Miss Brodie in cramming. And I have a little hissy fit, and my character, being as dorky and socially awkward as he is, has absolutely no idea how to handle it. I think it's so funny the way he interacts with Miss Brodie, who's this cool, calculated character, and I'm there, a little grovelling wreck. I think it's very funny.
Yes, they do. I am convinced they do. At parts they do. I've seen it.
I actually don't know. I don't think so. I think they're quite, they both seem very awkward around each other, even after they'd done their scenes, so I doubt that they'd kissed. But it looks very convincing, I would say.
Ooh, this is a question asked by many schoolgirls of Rustenburg Girls High, and I think everyone knows the answer, and I don't really know if I want to give it away, because I think people should come watch the play. And I do know that Robin and Edward have quite a lot of chemistry on stage between their characters, so maybe there might be a little bit of action.
Do we really kiss on stage? Probably going to get asked by my friends, but it's not really a kiss, but it looks like a kiss, so it's staged very well.
Yes, we do.